Something along the lines of the theory of everything. Am I further trying to think about the idea and concept that I put forward concerning our use of number system, measurements, and things of that nature, and how ultimately that came from using ourselves as the base, from the standpoint which we did from the very get-go, which we still pretty much do today until things are shown to be different, that everything is based on our being the center of everything. Earth being the center of the universe is why the sun rotated around us until it proved different. How things relate to us is how things are said to be, because we are the center. We're our center, and that is our reality. We are center in how we perceive things. So everything is based on our creation, how we see things. So I questioned the validity, if you will, of saying that the speed of light, it has such it's so fast. It has whatever the mouse power is. I don't know the exact number, but we have one that we set once again based off of our initial thinking and development of miles and speed, rate of speed, miles per hour, and then thus we were eventually through science able to put a number to how fast light travels. But light being a natural being, if you will, light being a natural source, lights being a natural part of nature that you can hold, that in essence, was made by God, that those things which are part of nature, which are natural, may be where we need to actually create the base. So as I said before, the speed of light should be 0 or should be 1. It should be the base. It should be everything based off the speed of light, because we hold that it is the fastest thing in existence, speed of light. So I'm trying to get further into that and thinking about number systems. We hold, and I've even put forth the power of mathematics. I think I believe even said before that mathematics is God, but truth is God. But I put that forth as in that numbers speak the truth. That they say the numbers don't lie, and for the most part they don't, as long as they stay consistent. It is only in the faults of the mathematician that numbers can lie. But if you look at numbers, but B period U period T period, and the question, and then this goes along the lines of a previous video where I said I question anything that has a numbered amount. If you look at numbers, ultimately you have 10 digits. You have 1 through 9, and then 0. If you want to put it at before 0 or at the end of 9, whatever it is. And then after that point, every other number is a combination of those 10 digits. Now, where did those base 10, if you will, come from? And why are they there? And what is the true validating point of that? This is how it should be. That we should have 10 digits. That it shouldn't be 3. And then it goes 1, 2, 3. And then we can say 4, and 4 is really 1 and 2 together, and 5 is 1 and 3 together, and 6 is 2 and 1 together, going opposite way. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is what we represent as 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what do we have to maintain that isn't valid? And so ultimately it's figuring out if there should be more. If you get to 9, should we actually have a unique character for 10? Unique character for 11? A unique character that doesn't repeat of previous characters? And what would it be that would drive it, that show that there is a need even for this? Well, I question, or there is a question, because there is a question that exists, because when something exists, there is a question of that. The fact that when we look through nature, and if you look at pi, if we look at the golden mean, we usually have these numbers which aren't just one number within itself. So pi is what? Pi is 3.14 blah 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 forever, for eternity, right? And yet it's supposed to be a representation of something that occurs naturally in nature. You know, it's a representation of a circle, right? And really, the full circle is 2 pi, and pi is half of the circle. Well, a circle is that which is naturally created as part of nature, I would say created by God. So, should it really be that a circle is 2 pi? Should it not be pi? And not that it's 3.14, but it should be 3. But then I question when we take anything in nature and we look at it, and that we have anything that we say will have a number that goes on for infinity. To me, I wonder once again, if we hold that being nature that we can say is made by God, then it should be set and precise. That's the thing. It should be precise, constant, and doesn't have change. When you have a number to add to it, ultimately it's change. When you say that pi goes on forever, that means that it's changed at the end, because you're always at a number and it's a different number. It's going through the number system. It's going forever. So practically speaking, technically speaking, it's changing, because it's not changing in the front end, but it's changing on the back end, because that number keeps changing, going on forever. And so, like I said, I question the validity of that. And so, ultimately, I believe that what should be put forth within this world, within a government that is seeking truth, the government that is guided by truth and does everything through truth. It is putting in the research to attack this very thing, to look at things. If you made a number system only 1, 2, 3, how would that change things? If you, I saw the movie. There's a movie I watched this past weekend, called Pi, and it had to do with this this guy who's, and that's hard for me to describe the movie. Ultimately, it was within this movie. It was this idea that there's this number, this 200 some digit number, this number that the government wants, and a number that Jews are say that's supposed to represent the name of God. So if we had a number system that went 200 some digits, and that the digits didn't repeat, that every character was different, what would that do, and how would that change our understanding of things? How would that change in our mathematics and how we measure and how we see things? And I think it takes looking in nature and taking that which is natural, and that which once it occurs naturally, and if you put a set number, a solid number to that, imply that, and then from that we extrapolate it out. Once again, instead of making us a center, we take different things. We look at things in nature and say, well, if this is center, if everything was based off of this being center, we made the numbers based off of this, how would it change everything else? What would it do to the number system? What would it do, or what made it, would it uncover some things? Would it change our understanding, overstanding, understanding, understanding about things? Where will it show things that we don't know? And I even question the fact of that we have these two concepts. I'm sorry, of numbers and alphabets. Why is it numbers and alphabets? Dealing somewhat in the idea of duality, and I'm really just speaking this off the brain, that we have duality. Use the duality as the opposites. So we have two things. Numbers and letters are opposites. And so when you move outside of two things that are opposite, I wonder if what we will see in nature is that really, if it's not two, in the case of two, it's opposites. When it's not two, then it's three. And so it takes a trinity. So we have numbers and letters. So our question, are we missing something? Is there still something yet to be developed that needs to go along with numbers and letters? Numbers and letters, we use these for forms of communicating and for understanding and for maneuvering around in our reality and within our world. But are we missing a third thing? A third thing that will bring these three together, that will once again change. It will enlighten. It will bring about the true knowledge that we should have of this world and our existence. I hope you get what I'm saying, at least the base whatever, and how once again, if the government wants to take the government or a foundation or a company, maybe get a grant of once again just churning through it. If we had these numbers, if we stopped it here, if we stopped it there, if we had, if we the knowledge, shell, if we may use that as a foundation, if that golden mean, if we didn't have the decimal point, if we just said that was one, I hope you get what I'm saying. All right, and that's why I say it's sort of along the lines of the theory of everything.